old ticket. Ooh, confrontation with the owner of the boat.
Yo, you know what I hate? Okay, hate might be a very strong word. So you know what I very strongly dislike? Whenever the violence, the nonsense, the savagery, the shootings, the gang culture, whenever the buffoonery in Chicago is taking place, and whenever a lot of these channels and a lot of people talk about it, even the news channels sometimes, they're always talking about how black people this, black people that, the black culture, black community, right? The parents need to do better, right? Stop blaming everything on white people. This is black people's problem. Black people this, don't hold themselves accountable. Black people need to do more of this. Tired of black people, this, that, and the third about black people. And guess what? I agree with it. Did you hear what I just said? I agree with it. With every last bit of it, because I'm all about accountability, right? Controlling what you can control. And a lot of the black people that's in, the so-called black people that's in Chicago can do a lot better than what they're doing. I agree with that. That's a lot of things, a lot of the surrounding factors that play a role into it too. But as far as being accountable for your own behavior, you can control that. Let me tell you what I don't like though. When it comes to so-called white people or other groups of people doing something, all of a sudden race isn't a factor anymore. Now, if you haven't heard about it, there was a situation that took place in Alabama a few days ago where this guy who happened to be a black man works as, I don't know what the proper term, title of his job is, but he's like the police officer of like shipping decks, right? Apparently, these group of guys parked their boat on a shipping deck where they weren't supposed to park it, right? And so the guy came and did his job and he removed the boat from the shipping deck because it was illegally parked. And this is what happened.
That guy in the white shirt is crew from our little dinner cruise boat who got off our ship to go over there to move that black pontoon boat on his own because those guys who parked there were told not to leave it there and they left it there. So he's just pushing it off. That's funny. Took matters into his own hands. I love it. I hope the police give him a big old ticket. Ooh, confrontation with the owner of the boat. Those guys are all drunk.
We all got to throw your ass in this water.
Tonight, police continue their investigation, reviewing video to figure out how it all went down. I visited the riverfront today to see how the community is taking it all, and some families are concerned. Multiple people jumping in and throwing punches in this brawl along the Montgomery riverfront. Viewer video shows the fight playing out just feet from the Alabama River.
With this being Montgomery and the birthplace of civil rights with a lot of his history, it's unfortunate that we make news now for the wrong reasons.
A witness claims the fight started because a pontoon boat was blocking the dock where a riverboat was trying to park. Soon after, Montgomery police arrived, arresting several people. They're combing through cell phone video and security footage in their investigation. Montgomery Mayor Stephen Reed saying this was an unfortunate incident which never should have occurred. As our police department investigates these intolerable actions, we should not become desensitized to violence of any kind in our community. The scene was much calmer on Sunday. Montgomery resident William Green brought his daughter out along the riverfront. As a parent, he says he's concerned.
I do have a 12-year-old. I have to tell her how to conduct ourselves in areas where there are a lot of people. Also keep her head on a swivel and be able to determine what's going to happen in a situation so she can stay safe.
The Montgomery riverfront is a common place tourists go. The Anderson family is visiting from Florida in town to visit civil rights sites. They had not heard about this attack, but say they still feel safe because of Montgomery's police presence.
I feel safe here in Montgomery. Everyone has been very friendly to us while we've been here.
Despite the violence the riverfront saw the night before.
I think this provides a good opportunity to look at the policies that allowed this thing to get out of control.
Multiple arrest warrants have been issued, and MPD says more will follow after reviewing additional video. We're going to keep you updated on this story.
First of all, that's just completely wrong, right? The guy working there was just doing his job and he was just mobbed. Now, everything isn't about race, but for anybody to watch this video and act like they're not a human being and can't see that, the first thing you're going to notice is race. Yes, it may have nothing to do with the fact that it was a black guy. If it was a white guy, Asian guy, Indian guy, Hispanic guy, the same thing may have happened to him. I don't know. We don't know that. But with the historical references, especially in Alabama, of all states, in Alabama, for anybody to watch that video and see 7, 8 white guys jumping on to this black guy who's in the right that was doing his job and pretend like you don't see race and it don't at least come across your mind, you're out your mind. The second thing is, if you watch this video and you mean to tell me that you don't notice that even though it's not about race, which I have no reason to believe that they did it just because he's a black guy. Absolutely, I agree with that part. But for you to watch this video and not notice that the only people that helped the black guy was black people. Did you hear what I just said? Now, at the very beginning, you can see that there was this young white kid who seemed to be like he, was acting as if he wanted to help, but, maybe he was a little bit afraid, and I don't blame him for that. And one of the white guys kind of pushed him away. Yes, I'll give you that. But outside of that situation, and he looked like he may have even worked out there, I'm not sure. But outside of that situation, the rest of the people that was helping him, you had a man who jumped in the water. That makes me emotional even thinking about that. This man jumped out the boat into the water to swim across to get to that deck to help that man. It was a bunch of other people standing around, a lot of them being white people. It was a couple of black people that didn't help too. But every single person that helped was black people. Now, this isn't about division. This isn't about white against black. I'm not trying to add fuel to the fire for a race war. I'm not. I love people. You out of your mind if you watch this video and you don't notice these things. Like, let's just be honest with each other.
So I'm doing this video by troll demand, right? Because I've had a lot of comments and personal messages that, hey, we want you to cover this story that happened out in Montgomery, Alabama, right? You ain't gonna cover this because it don't fit the narrative.
Because you don't. If you don't know who this is a guy by the name of Greg Foreman. He runs a YouTube channel called Black Conservative Perspective. And I watch his channel. I do like his videos, some of his videos. But the problem that I have with a lot of his content is the same problem I have with the conservative twins. The same problem that I have with Officer Tatum, problem I have with some of Candace Owens' content is that they're disingenuous, right? They exaggerate a lot of situations when it comes to black people, right? They hold us accountable, which I like, and a lot of black people don't like that. And I'm not for that. I like when people hold us accountable. We hold ourselves accountable. But they get to exaggerating certain situations that have nothing to do with race, and they make it about race. Believe it or not, right? They want to blow up every single situation about black people, and he's doing it again. He's talking about a lot of people was trolling him, telling him to cover the situation because he wouldn't do it because it's not a part of the narrative. Because they're right. Whenever it's something about white people doing something to black people and the black person is completely in the right, y'all won't talk about that. That's the truth, bro. That's the truth. Y'all only talk about when black people are in the wrong about something. But y'all aren't about division. That's why I say liberalism and conservatism are two wings of the same bird, and I'm not on either side. Y'all get on my nerves with that, bro.
Right? That's the comments that I get, implying that I don't cover certain stories if it doesn't fit a certain racial narrative.
You don't.
Right? But lo and behold, I am covering this story because I think that what you see going on, particularly when it comes to Black Twitter and their coverage of this story, is everything wrong with this country in regards to race? Because it seems like we have people that are celebrating what was a race riot, okay, or a race brawl.
Disingenuous. This is what I mean. No, people, of course you're going to have your outliers out there who make it only about race. You have people on Twitter, or Black Twitter as you want to call it, celebrating the fact that this black man, whether it would have been a black man or not, this man was defended and helped. He was doing his job. He did nothing wrong. And he was mauled by these savages. And people went out of their way to swim over there to help him, bro. People that didn't even know him came to help a person who was being jumped on by these people who was in the wrong. Meanwhile, you got all these people standing on the deck who are right there that was not even helping this man. That's what it was about. Stop lying, bro.
That happened out in Montgomery, Alabama, that actually really wasn't about race. But hey, the race hustlers of America made it about race because that's all they know, right? Instead of making it about what it actually really was, which was basically some guys who happen to be white thinking that they could just park their boat anywhere, right, on the dock while a ferry was trying to dock and they couldn't, actually dock there. No. Let's not make it about that, right? Let's make it about race, okay? Let's make it about race.
Some guys that just happen to be white. So this is my problem, not just with conservative channel, but a lot of people. Let's flip it. Let's say it was a bunch of black guys who did something that was against the law. And then you had one white guy who was doing his job, and they were mauled upon by all these black people. The black people didn't say any racial slurs, didn't say anything about his skin color. How are y'all gonna cover that channel? I mean, how are y'all gonna cover that video? What are y'all gonna say? Y'all gonna say a bunch of guys who happen to be black? No, you're not. Stop lying. You're gonna say a bunch of black thugs mauled onto this white man who was doing his job. You're gonna make it about race in that scenario. So whether it was about race or not, which again, I have no reason to believe that it was only about race, but let's be clear, bro. Y'all hop in the comment section. Have y'all seen this situation? What are your thoughts about this, bro? I just had to make a quick video about this because sometimes stuff gotta be set straight. Set the record straight. This was a man doing his job. He was mauled upon by a bunch of savages. And you had people that went out of their way to help him that didn't even know the man. And I'm proud that they did that because that man clearly needed help. This is a sad situation. I hope this situation does not escalate. I understand they have 4 arrest warrants out. Yeah, man, it's very unfortunate. If you want to see the full unedited version of what happened out there, you're going to have to go over to my Rumble, or you're going to have to go over to just some news channel here on YouTube, because obviously YouTube does not allow violence to be shown on the average YouTube channel. So y'all hop in the comment section and y'all give me your thoughts on what y'all think about this video, man. Until next time. Peace.
Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.